Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the League Zero semifinals match for the Novice Division between Wisdom Academy and One Trick Wonders. I'll be your streamer and play-by-play caster tonight, Acronator. I'm joined by Dividing on color casting.
Hello. How are you doing today, Acri?
Tired. I woke up like an hour and a half ago thinking it was 4 a.m. and it was 4 p.m. So
that sounds like a trip.
It kind of was. I'm mostly alive now, so we're gonna be good. I'm just waiting for these teams to be ready and hoping that nothing crazy happens like last season. But then again, we're more prepared this time around.
The novice semis, veterans of the league will know what that means. Luckily, though, One Trick and Geo are on opposite sides of the bracket this time around. So,
yep.
But I will say, going into this matchup, you see Wisdom Academy, the undefeated #1 seed, and One Trick Wonders, which, looking in the standings, they weren't undefeated?
No, Geo beat them last week of the regular season.
Oh, did I just miss that entirely?
Probably.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm verifying for myself because I thought for sure they were undefeated.
No,
well, either way, they are the #1 seed, and then we have, they did end up losing. And I totally forgot. Okay, so still the #1 seed though, and compared that to One Trick Wonders, who were the #4 seed and had a more even schedule. Yeah, they went 3-5. So it's really easy to take a look at this game and say, hey, this is very easily going to go to Wisdom Academy. But that wouldn't quite be the case. One Trick started off this season, I would say, fairly weak compared to some of the teams that are sort of in the top 3, but went through some restructuring, picked up me on the main tank. They also found a solid contributor on Flex DPS and Eagle Debop, and they have been slowly but surely sort of closing the gap between them and the top 3 teams. This is by no means a done deal. I think One Trick Wonders, if they are as prepared and have hit the sort of the peak that people like me seem to say that they are capable of hitting, this game could very easily go to them.
Yeah, definitely. However, they've always on the other side of the coin, the what everyone's predicting is that they've always had that trouble of breaking past the mid-table standing. They've never quite been able to beat out like Geometric or Wisdom in the past. They've never gotten particularly close. I think they might have gotten to a map 5 with Geo once early on in the season.
They went to a map 6 with Edinburgh in week 2.
All right.
And ended up losing that one. I'm just trying to see. So they beat SBC in week 5. And they beat Hyperflex in week 7. I'm trying to see if they beat any team that isn't currently above them in the standings, but I don't think they did. Yeah, they beat Hyperflex in week 4, they beat SBC in week 5, and they beat Hyperflex in week 7. So as of right now, all their only wins this season have come against the now eliminated Hyperflex and Seattle Battle Cattle.
Yeah,
so
although
they really need to get a win here against Wisdom to legitimize them as a true contender, or else they'll just kind of be thought of as the gatekeepers to the top 4.
Yeah, although to be fair, their loss against Edinburgh last week of the regular season was a little bit unfortunate. I think they were missing me or Tree60 or someone who was crucial to their success in the past, so I believe that game was a little bit scuffed. So
it might have been a little bit scuffed, to be fair. And I mean, you do have to give them credit for shutting down Hyperflex quite resoundly last week. I believe it was 2 1s across the board, which I think is really funny. But OTW seemed, after at least the first map, they were in control the whole time. And now, of course, they come up against a team that they are they're not really favored against in Wisdom.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Wisdom is basically expected to, if not win it all, at the very least, we're basically expecting a Geometric Wisdom finals, and it's really going to be Wisdom's game to lose here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing both teams come out with what it seems to be more comfortable for them, both teams sporting Reinhardt compositions. However, two very big differences. Okay, one big difference is going to be Blue Jay on the Zarya compared to Zorthcon on the Sigma. And Igglybuff will swap back onto the Doomfist. That's kind of the pocket pick for him.
Yeah, and sure enough, we do actually have the Symmetras as well. Pretty standard. Blue Jay immediately falls off the map, so OTW starting off with a little bit of a downside here.
we need a pause, please. That's really unfortunate.
What?
It appears. How do you even if you're lagging? How do you even do that off the spawn of Lijiang?
Observe the barrier.
I got nothing. Oh, this is weird. I'm currently spectating Zorthcon, and his arm is moving. His left arm is currently moving at normal speed in pause. I'm not sure what's happening there, but hopefully Blue Jay can solve whatever issues he might be having, as that would be tragic to have, you know, considered one of their best players on the entire roster having internet issues this early on. Obviously,
I can't say that's a good start.
No.
The second that was a very, very unfortunate, seems, lag spike for Blue Jay, as they are now saying they're ready, but unfortunate lag spike there is going to pretty much guaranteed give first control of Control Center over to Wisdom. As, yeah, they're just going to back off and wait for Blue Jay, and also Tree 60, who died, to come out of spawn. Tree 60 swaps over to the McCree, though, looking for some more consistent damage.
I've been seeing a little bit more McCree in the meta as of late. Plus, he is known for his flick aiming, to be rather proficient. Now, Wisdom finally caps the first point they wanted to push up and control this choke point. Immediately, OTW burst through the point, but it burst through the choke, but it doesn't quite matter as two immediately fall. Titanic finding 3, and he already has a rip tire.
It's so tough to just shove yourselves through a tiny door like that when you're playing into a Junkrat. Titanic is going to have his ultimate coming into this next fight. It will be only at about 25%. That just shows how easy it is for the Junkrat to get value in these situations.
Already OTW trying to push through, and actually they kill Titanic before he gets the chance to use his Rip Tire. But Me is trapped! I'm not sure if it really matters here, as some ultimates are coming out on both sides, but it looks like OTW are getting the better hand of this engagement here, as Igglybuff is pressuring out Zorthcon, who is really the last defender as the stagger spawns start to come in for Wisdom. Titanic finds Igglybuff around the corner there. A little bit of an even scuffle here, but Zorthcon tries to even it up with his Gravitic Flux. Will not find any kills immediately. Actually, Tree 60 will be taking out the Lucio. Finally, the Riptire comes out from Titanic. The beat comes in, return from Mellow. Fire will not find anything, but OTW are still not in control of the point. They have not really found the tipping point that they need to turn the tide in their favor for this fight. High Noon comes out, will not find any kills, but does help clean up Wisdom, as it looks like OTW at about 75 and counting % will be able to take control of the point.
OTW are playing so passively right now, and I'm not 100% sure why. They did an incredibly good play at the start of that fight, killing Minimax while he was in the middle of his Earth Shatter animation, canceling that, and then got another kill onto Titanic as well. I think they were cautious on pushing in because of the Symmetric turrets from Spongy Cheese, which is fair, but it just kind of felt like they kind of hung around on the point and didn't push their advantage too well. Here comes a tire from Igglybuff, but it's just going to take down the Immortality.
Looks like OTW really want to hold control at this point.
Oh my god.
Minimax losing his Shatter there mid Graviton Surge. And that will be OTW holding on to the point.
Alright, so that is 0 for 2 on Minimax for getting Shatters on the ground. That's really unfortunate for him, but also I'm not 100% sure if that's really him making mistakes or... no, it's probably honestly him making mistakes. Okay, the first one I think wasn't his fault. That one was. That was obviously a lost fight. He got... Oh my god!
Me finding 5 with the Shatter. The only one not found is Titanic, who is on a flank trying to find some Shatter potential. Okay. And the kills are coming in primarily for OTW, at least originally, but Wisdom is trying to even up the fight here with Tree 60 on the flank. Will take out Titanic, so now it's just the tanks on the side of Wisdom with Geeke coming back with the beat, wants to keep this alive. Zorthkon trying to find something with his Gravitic Flux. Actually will take out 360. They decide that the Lone Cowboy is more dangerous than both tanks on the point. But OTW is now back. Everyone aside from their McCree is onto the point, whereas Wisdom is trying to stagger back in. But they are taking a lot of poke damage from Iggledy In the meantime, is almost up to his tire once again. Titanic not quite there yet. The Coalescence coming out from Phantom Flex will help chip everyone down. Minimax doesn't quite find what he needs from the Shatter, and that is going to be overtime ticking down for OTW. Titanic doesn't get the touch, and that'll be the first round for One Trick.
Good Shatter from Minimax at the end there, but there just wasn't any follow-up. I wanna clarify what I was gonna say at the end of that fight until that monstrous Shatter from me. The first Shatter that Minimax got canceled, I don't think was necessarily his fault. It was a pretty good spot to go for the Shatter when you're stuck in that mini room, and I think he just wasn't expecting the amount of burst damage that One Trick was giving to them. Second Shatter, however, I believe was him seeing that the fight was kind of going against them with the Graviton Surge and got a little bit desperate there. Definitely could have hung on to that one, so that's my take on that.
Well, he will have plenty of time to redeem himself, as the series is still rather young. Heck, the map is still rather young. Both teams opting for the stereotypical Symmetra response. However, OTW has a Orisa. It doesn't quite matter, as the Reinhardt from OTW is going to find Titanic almost immediately. There's a lot of frontline pressure now gone for Wisdom. However, Splendiches is still alive, but for how long, as both tanks are now gone. It looks like OTW find what they need here with the Orisa composition.
Yeah, the aggression from me pays off in dividends, getting an early pin kill coming out of the Symmetra teleport. Not 100%. I mean, yeah, it was a very calculated play from him, and he even managed to get out without dying when he was surrounded by the rest of his team. It's actually prompted a bit of a swap. Zorthkon, oh my god, me! This has been Me's map right now. He is putting on a Reinhardt clinic. Not, built up Shatter in 30 seconds. I mean, I don't think Wisdom was expecting that one at all. This prompted several swaps now from Wisdom Academy. We're seeing it from Mercy coming out, from Titanic and Geekcake, and Zorthkon is on the Diva.
Actually worth noting that Titanic was on the Pharah before as well. It's just that they destroyed the rest of the team on the ground for Wisdom so early. The Shatter comes in from Minimax. It will actually find a few members, and that will more than likely help them clean up the remainder of the defenders, as it's really just Mellow. Never mind, he's gone. And that is going to be point flipped over for Wisdom at about 51%.
Beautiful flank play from Wisdom there. You could tell that Phantom Flex was expecting Wisdom to just kind of bash into them and try and brawl out like they did before. He put his window down in the usual doorway. But the rest of Wisdom flanked around to the left, and the Mercy came out from outside, and One Trick Wonders just didn't know what to do.
The ball does come out from 360, but Titanic is ready with the barrage. Will find the main tank and the main support, and that is probably going to be another cleanup there for Wisdom. Yeah.
Alright, so now One Trick Wonders is going to have to make some swaps of their own. 360 uses ult. That's probably going to be him swapping to a more DPS-centric character. Yep, there's a swap on the McCree, and it's now going to be up to him to try and make sure that Titanic doesn't get as much value as he's been getting over the last couple of fights.
Sure enough, he will have to prove that his aim is as good as we expect it to be, and have seen in the past. He is dinking Geekcake a little bit there and up into the sky, as well as the Bongo coming out. Spongy Cheese tries to get something with his high noon, but it doesn't quite work, but Blue Jay gets a little bit overly aggressive there. Ultimate's coming out left and right, but it looks like Minimax's Shatter will once again help clean up the remainder of One Trick. However, they are still trying to fight this out in a little courtyard here going on to point. Neither team has a distinct advantage here. Shatter comes in, it actually will find Titanic, so the Pharah is now gone as well as the Mercy. And this is actually going to get turned around.
It's not every day that you see an Earth Shatter, a solo Earth Shatter on a Pharah, I gotta say. I don't think I've seen that one before.
You know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and apparently when the bird flies low enough, you can just pin her to the ground and take her out.
Yeah, however, there's a bit of a battle that One Trick Wonders has to fight here if they want to take control of the point. GK's going to open up with the Valkyrie, and Eagle going down early is not a good sign right now.
The bomb coming in will not find anything. I like that aggress forward onto the courtyard from OTW there. The barrage comes in once again. Phantom Flex doesn't stand a chance, but that's the only casualty here for the time being. Knee does fall in the aftermath. Looks like Wisdom are coming back in with a vengeance, trying to clean up the point and get themselves into one-fight territory, but OTW is there by themselves in the meantime, and 360 does actually take out...
Does 360 get away here?
No.
He doesn't. That's unfortunate. If 360 was able to get away, that could have been massive, that pick onto the Mercy, but now it ends up not being that great of a play, as One Trick is going to be pushing back in. It's actually a fairly even ult economy on either side. It's all going to come down to, I think, how they deal with the distraction from Titanic.
High Noon coming out from Spongy Cheese, but once again he stands still for a bit too long. 360 now throwing in his High Noon, and Red Panda is actually the one to fall. This is going heavily in favor of One Trick Wonders. Keep in mind, they're in one-fight territory. It's just Titanic here to try and stall out the point, but he's so low. He has a smidgen of health, and he actually falls to 360 before he gets a chance to touch. Spongy does come back on the Tracer, but he's immediately taken out by the McCree. Is this first map going the way of the underdogs here? It is! One Trick Wonders take it 2-0
out on top.
That was incredible play.
That was some incredible play from One Trick Wonders as a whole. I think Me really took charge up front there. I think he definitely deserves play of the game this map. This was some insane Reinhardt play, really showing off what this character can do. Yeah, I mean, Minimax was just not expecting that at all. He's like, we've only been going for one fight. How could he possibly have Shatter? Well, that's how. Yeah, I mean, I think some incredibly good play coming out from One Trick Wonders to start off this game. Wisdom, I think, take it a little bit aback. I don't know if they were expecting this to go so well.
Yeah, that felt like a little bit of a lack of coordination, almost a lack of composure, I guess you could say, from Wisdom that we've assumed is characteristic up until this point for them, as they've been usually the ones who can pull it together when they need to. In those one-fight territory opportunities, but there they just kind of crumbled in that last fight, despite Titanic finding Phantom Flex rather early on. That was really the only thing that happened.
Spongy Cheese had some very questionable high noons there as McCree, where he just kind of stood out in the middle of the point with no real protection. I mean, he had his Reinhardt in front of him, but he still kind of had himself where he could be shot at. There was an angle there. And that is it's so difficult for you to get out of that if you're standing there for a long time and you're just a glowing ball of power just saying, come shoot me, you know?
Yeah, especially because we haven't really seen Spongy Cheese play the McCree too much this season. He's known for his snipers coming in to the season from Flux Cup. He's known for his he's known for his Reaper, but he's not necessarily known for his McCree. So maybe that's something that he hasn't practiced that much, as that is a rather new addition to the meta, whereas 360 has always been known for his flick aiming heroes, like obviously snipers, but also McCree. He's had an incredible McCree in the past. So maybe that's just more of a comfort pick thing. We will have King's Row being chosen as the map, obviously, because that's
to the surprise of absolutely nobody. This is just the hybrid map. And, you know, it's fair enough, a very good brawly map. I'm sure Wisdom would love to play more of that Brawl v Brawl. It's what got them to be #1 seed in the first place. They're very confident in it. However, I'm going to be honest, I think you're going to be talking about how you're going to be dealing with, I think, Me especially, really showed up in that first map. I'm going to keep patting this guy on the back because he... did a really... I was very impressed by the way he took control of that first map.
Yeah, definitely. It felt a lot like he wasn't doing his characteristic over-aggression like they were much earlier in the season. Me has done a much better job. And mind you, this is an extremely recent development, as you know, up until the end of the regular season, it felt like he was having trouble knowing when he was over-aggressing or not, and suddenly he comes out of the gate swinging like that. Maybe it's just the rest of his team backing him up as well, but I'd have to say it's a combination of communication and just me fixing up his play.
Yeah, and then on the other side, I would say that we did see some very good stuff. I saw a lot of really good plays coming out of Titanic in particular, veteran of the league, known as probably the best flex DPS player in wisdom in all of Novice division. If you would ask around, I don't know if he actually ended up winning Roll Star this season, but he was definitely up there. He did. Okay, good. That's deserved. The best flex DPS, I think, in Novice. And I think showed it with his Junkrat and Pharah play.
Yeah, definitely. However, I have noticed that he seems to be having a lot less of an impact, at least in Lijiang. Now, of course, Control is a completely different beast than anything else, but it felt like Titanic wasn't lighting up the kill feed quite as much as he had in the past. You know, it felt like 360 and Eagle Bop were kind of keeping up with him, which is somewhat uncharacteristic. And it's a little bit hard to tell at the moment if that was just OTW playing out of their minds for Lijiang, or if Wisdom was not quite feeling it yet. You know, maybe they're not warmed up. Regardless, we got about a minute left for the teams to give the ready signal.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved to see some good King's Row play. Both teams have seemed to be opting to not swap anybody out. They are just kind of they're hanging around where One Trick Wonder's having a little bit of trouble. It seems like there might be some keyboard problems.
That sounds familiar.
I don't know what it sounds familiar with.
I think it was last week with OTW versus Hyperflex, I want to say. I'm pretty sure someone in that game had keyboard problems as well, so... Probably the same thing. Either way, they got about, let's see, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to have to be getting into the game in the next couple seconds here. Teams are made aware of that.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the situation is right now. Someone on One Trick Wonders might need to get themselves a backup. Yep. Immediate pause is coming from One Trick Wonders, so they got 5 minutes of pause time to try and figure out their keyboard issues.
Just gonna move it back over to the score screen then while we're waiting.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have much to talk about right now. If only we had kept it until at least people started locking in heroes, so we could like maybe talk about that. Okay, they're saying ready. Okay. Good. Okay, I'm glad we weren't stuck in this limbo for several minutes. That would have been awful to commentate over.
Well, we do have OTW on the defense this time around. Not surprising, as usually the team who wins the previous map likes to pick defense, aside from a select few teams and towards like the advanced expert division range. Maybe Geometric sometimes likes to pick offense first if they're feeling it. But no surprises here. I wouldn't be shocked to see up more Orisa play. Interesting.
Yeah, double shield currently. You like to play Reinhardt on this map, and of course, so seeing me lock that Reinhardt is very characteristic, as well as the Orisa from Blue Jay going for a very kind of static defensive brawl comp right now. I'd love to see Titanic try and get a shot off on this Widowmaker. I don't know if he will. I don't know if he'll go for it though.
I don't think he's known for his Widow. More Spongy is known for his snipers, so I think that might have just been some scouting. But OTW isn't exactly giving up any any scouting.
Yeah, so we got ourselves a bit of a shadow brawl situation coming out from One Trick Wonders. Of course, everything we know and love about the Shadow Dive comp that dominated most of the season's meta, except Minimax will be on the Reinhardt.
Yep, and we do have an early hack coming in onto Phantom Flex. That'll be a decent amount of utility now gone with the Baptiste hacked out, but Red Pun is actually going to be the first one to fall. It looks like Minimax was going to be, that's why I was waiting. But immediately, it looks like OTW are just ready with the spam damage coming in, and that is going to be a quick cleanup for the defenders here.
Shout out to Blue Jay, got like 4 final blows in that one.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'm not sure how it is that Red Panda got picked off so early. Did they just go a little bit too over-aggressive or something? It's very difficult to be first picked as Moira, I'm gonna be honest.
it looks like he poked his head out of the shield and got poked down by Tree 60, although I think Blue Jay got the final blow there. Immediately, Wisdom are coming back into this fight, however. They want to get revenge for the previous fight as Minimax finds a shatter. We'll find a few members on the ground on their backs, and OTW will start to crumble apart. It's really just going to be stall for them for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that Wisdom is known for, which is making sure that they are the ones setting the tempo and not the other way around. They use that Lucio speed boost from Geekake to really take control of the tempo and push into the team. And but there's only one person.
Almost immediately, Tree 60 finds two with the return. High Noon. They do need to touch. They do.
He gets in there
at the very final second.
Goodness.
Me actually does have a shatter, but I'm not sure if he's going to want to use it here. He's incredibly low, but he will survive for the time being. Tree 60 does fall, but I'm not sure if it really matters here, as the rest of OTW are back 99.7%, but OTW are still in it.
Wisdom opted to keep just one person on the point while they went and tried to get some stagger kills. They failed to do so, and because they only had one on the point, it allowed One Trick Wonders time to regroup and push back, and a huge 2k High Noon was enough.
A lot of ultimates coming in, primarily from Wisdom. They want to keep their names on the board, but it looks like me and Igglebop have different plans in mind, as OTW are once again coming in favor here. Blue Jay actually swaps over to the Zarya just to get a little bit more brawl-esque, and they're still holding on to this point. Wisdom can't get past that 2-tick threshold.
That's incredible right now. Then that's kind of the weakness of this really high-tempo offense that Wisdom wants to be playing, is that while you're kind of up there brawling, no one's really looking at the support line, and Igglebop just kind of slips into the back there and gets a perfect Death Blossom.
EMP comes out as well as Northcot's bomb finding 4, and that's going to be first point almost definitely. There's no way.
That has to be it.
Yeah, it has to be. And sure enough, 3.5 minutes, a lot less time than I think Wisdom wanted coming into this. But still first point nonetheless. They did not get first held. It's not a doomsday scenario quite yet, but OTW are looking like a completely different beast.
Yeah, I would say maybe a couple uncharacteristic mistakes from Wisdom, but I mean, that fight was just a textbook set play. The EMP bomb caught everybody out. There was just nothing that anyone could do about it. That's just a very well executed set play from Wisdom there to take the point.
Yeah, sure enough, they are fighting up on this corner here. That's relatively normal. Coalescence does actually come out from Red Panda, and Blue Jay just gets melted down by Spongy Cheese, so it looks like Wisdom wanna push this further back and avoid any massive stalls on second point like they had on first. Sure enough, it's just Igglebop left to defend, but he's gonna fall as well, so that'll be Wisdom keeping the cart rolling for a little bit longer. OTW might have about one more fight left for second point if they're fast, but who knows if they want to hold on to this.
Yeah, Blue Jay will have the Graviton Surge to potentially try and hold this with, but Geekake does have the beat in response. Looks like One Trick is going to try and contest this one with a charge from me, but he gets hacked up.
They solo grab Minimax, but the immortality field is there. No, the beat is there. Oh, and Spongy Cheese finds too many with the Death Blossom, and that will be the defenders falling. Wisdom should take second point here, and sure enough,
I'm a little sad about that. That was honestly a really great Graviton Surge from Blue Jay. Not only was it a solo grab from onto Minimax, but it completely isolated him from the rest of his team. They could have easily focused him down, but they just didn't.
Yeah,
and now we've got the EMP shatter.
Beautiful hide there from Mello. Did not allow himself to get caught by the EMP, but it doesn't really matter as Igglebop and me will fall. So it is a 4v6 here onto the point, but OTW don't want to give it up quite yet. Blue Jay is backing up, so they are giving up a little bit of space, but not the point quite yet. Tree 60 does fall to Zorthcon in the backline, who was trying to stall out the point. But me is back with the shatter as well as Igglebop.
Oh no, is Blue Jay lagging again? Oh no.
Blue Jay
that would suck. That would suck if that was what was happening.
Zorthcon tosses in a bomb. Interesting positioning. It will find me, who was just barely out of the immortality field there. And the kills are primarily coming in favor of Wisdom here. However, Red Panda does fall once again. Iggledy looking for something desperately with his Death Blossom, but it will get hacked out before he finds any kills. Minimax falling a little bit low, but he will back up to get healed up. Wisdom only need about 3.5 meters here. Spongy Cheese gets hacked out as well. I believe might have been stunned, and finally the defense are returning the favor. They will hold control of third point for a little bit longer at the very least.
That was looking very iffy for One Trick Wonders for a very long time. I'm not 100% sure why 360 opted to use his EMP after he had already lost his Reinhardt. There just wasn't really the ability to follow up on that. But luckily, they managed to hold on to the end of third point for long enough, and they end up holding on.
Yeah, and they do have a decent amount of ults in advantage. However, the EMP comes out, will find almost everyone besides Mello, but Mello is there with the beat. I'm not sure if Me will be able to survive it. He's incredibly low. The Graviton Surge is eaten by Zorthcon. I'm not sure how he saw that one, but he did. EMP comes out for 360. We'll find almost everyone besides Red Panda, but he does have the Coalescence going. That is going to be enough to keep his team alive and finish off the majority of the defenders. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to touch here with the team kill in just over a minute remaining. Wisdom.
Yeah, getting over a minute is actually massive for them. Because, yeah, I mean, that's big for Wisdom, I gotta say. Great stuff overall from One Trick Wonders. I think this map kind of showed more of the difference between Wisdom and them, however, because Wisdom was very, very practiced with their engages. They knew exactly what ults they wanted to use. They knew exactly how they wanted to win each fight. I will say Mello did a very good job of hiding from the EMP Shatter combos on point B, point C, sorry, twice. They did that, and twice he was there with the responding sound barrier. It just was never quite enough to get the team out of a very sticky situation.
Yeah, you'd almost like to see Phantom Flex hiding as well, so at the very least say if... Whoa.
What? Hello?
What? This happened.
Zach?
I'm dumb.
So what did you do? What have you done?
I was in the lobby to watch to see if Big Hoot came back, and I hit back to lobby instead of escape because I'm dumb.
Bruh.
Unfortunate.
Okay. Well, I guess this is a fairly easy situation to recreate, right?
Yes. We can just... Because it was in between rounds, we could just have Wisdom cap it with a minute 2 remaining.
Yeah, minute 2. Yeah.
As long as the teams are good with that, but I mean, like, it's not going to screw up the ult economy or anything, so it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, I think a good thing this happened between rounds, I guess. Yeah, so... I don't know if you want to keep the stream currently active while we are resetting up this attack.
I do have a be right back screen, so I can put it on that.
Yeah.
So we will be back in a few minutes.
Boy. Okay. Well, if both
Okay,
teams are fine with it, then I'm fine.
We are back. The teams are slightly Papega, so it's 105 for Wisdom instead of 102.
They say they'll just wait and spawn for 3 seconds at the start, so...
Fair. Assuming that OTW can full cap. You know, there is that stipulation that if they get held anywhere on the map, then Wisdom will just even up the series. But yeah, thank you, Shadow Void, for updating everyone on the Torb 1v1 progress between Spongy and Eagle in Twitch chat. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
I'm sure they would love to.
Let's get back into series casting mode. So, 360 is currently showing a Widowmaker, of course, very well known for that. I would love to see him get a couple picks off of spawn, but knowing Wisdom, they'll probably play this super passively at the start just to make sure that doesn't happen. Wisdom showing a very traditional sort of spam comp with Titanic on the Junkrat and Spongy Cheese locking the McCree.
Interesting to see the Junkrat pick here, as King's Row first, in particular, isn't particularly tight as you would want a map to be for like a Junkrat, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to find value with those mines unless he's creative about his positioning. Maybe when it gets to the streets phase it'll be a bit easier, but for this first point he might have a little bit of trouble. As I say that, he's already building up some percentage. Immediately OTW dives into Wisdom. However, Wisdom looks like they were prepared for it, but they gave up a whole tick for that. I didn't even realize until the
well, then I guess it was worth it then. That was some insane aggression from me there. Not only walked into them, but then charges into them. The immortality field from Phantom Fix was a little too late to save him, but I mean, they did manage to get a tick out of that, so I mean, I guess I can't complain too much.
Yeah, do it 2 more times, and they're good to go. Hack comes out on the Minimax, but I don't think anyone was ready to capitalize on OTW, so 360 just going to have to back out and pretend like that didn't happen. Immediately, the aggression is coming in once again, a little bit more tempered this time. However, Iggledy-Bop gets caught out, bashed, and melted down by Spongy Cheese. Both windows coming out. Neither team really getting any value. Minimax gets hacked out of his shatter. 360 being a menace up on this high ground. And it looks like OTW are now ready to re-engage. However, Mi is getting incredibly low. He might not survive this onslaught. However, 6-man EMP! 360 falls for it, but the shatter is good, and that's more than likely going to be OTW taking at least 1 more tick here. However, Titanic does have Tire, and
he probably shouldn't use it. We have a Junkrat and a high... No, the high charge Zarya is now gone. Yeah, so Reaper, with the help of his supports, will end up finishing off this this point here. Just kind of an ult fiesta there from One Trick Wonders allowed them to take the point.
But it did work. You know, they had about a minute faster than what Wisdom took it with. Also worth noting there that I don't know if Blue Jay was trapped. I didn't notice a trap, but he just kind of stood there and let Titanic kill him. And OTW are about to take the point. Immediately the tire is coming out, however. Riding up onto the high ground, and we'll find both tanks. That is going to be OTW backing up with Wisdom just surging forth, looking to make sure that they don't get any more
that was progress. A nice route from Titanic, kind of taking the tire along the edges of the library. I thought that was really cool to watch.
Not only that, but not allowing it to touch the ground, as for those who didn't know, the tire is significantly louder when it's hitting a ground surface as opposed to the wall or up in the air, so it would have been much harder for OTW to get a read on where that tire was. Immediately, a very early rally coming in. Mi getting Graviton, as well as Blue Jay, but the beat and the immortality field are there. Actually, both immortality fields used. Minimax finding 2-3 with the shatter, but the kills aren't quite going directly in Wisdom's favor. Iggledy-Bop getting a little bit overly aggressive there with the Death Blast.
No, Blue Jay's trapped.
Blue Jay gets trapped, but he might survive. Not sure about Phantom Flex, however. Mi charges into his death, so that's just a free charge for about 550 health, I believe.
If they had held out for just a little bit longer, One Trick did, and was able to withstand the sort of grab and rally that they were putting on them, I mean, that could have gone a very different direction. But the shadow from Minimax was huge, put them all on their backs.
Window coming out once again. The High Noon coming in to return, but the EMP cancels the high noon before he can get it off. Blue Jay standing still. I'm not sure if he was trapped or what, but the shatter from me is good. Wisdom are on their backs and now in spawn, and it's really just Spongy and Titanic trying to get out.
This really is just a bolt game right now. The 6-man EMP opens up the way for a very easy shatter from me. Honestly, just a very well done play here from One Trick Wonders as they are making their way towards point B once again with a pretty decent time bank. They will be playing, however, into the tire from Titanic. They're going to have to be very wary of that one.
Yes, however, they are getting closer. It does look like Wisdom want to recontest. This tire coming in once again. It will not find anything as Phantom Flex was ready. The Graviton Surge comes in from Blue Jay, but me is the first to fall regardless. The window comes in from Phantom Flex, but it doesn't really matter as they're not going to get any value out of it. The kills are coming in for both sides, actually, as well as the Graviton Surge coming in from Zorthcon, and that's going to be a quick cleanup for Wisdom. They're going to hold on.
Well-timed grab from Zorthcon there. They did not have the Rhine there to shield the damage, and that is what eventually allowed Wisdom to take control once again here. Blue Jay is now going to swap onto the Diva, who I assume try and eat up some of that spam from Titanic.
Probably. It's, at the very least, he noticed the trap that time. He tended to get caught out. Red Panda tosses in the window, and it immediately pays dividends as me just gets melted. Not allowed to play the video game as it would so happen. And Phantom Flex gets staggered out. The rest of OTW desperately trying to get away. It looks like they will. Well, aside from 360, who was in the backline for reasons, and gets caught out there.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, this is starting to look pretty iffy for One Trick. They do have plenty of toys to play with in what is looking like possibly the final fight here. They're going to have the EMP Blossom as well as the Beat. If they use these tools correctly, they should be able to tank point B, but it's going to be a tough one.
Definitely, but here comes a tire from Titanic. Doesn't quite work. He tries to demech Blue Jay, but it doesn't quite work there. Igglebop finding 4 actually, 2 with the Death Blossom, and that is going to be the team kill and second point for OTW. So they did have to use everything in their arsenal, but it did work. They did get second point. They're still in this.
Yeah, great job scouting out Titanic there. I thought for sure he was going to get a multi-kill there with that tire, but Blue Jay was there right in his face and was able to nullify that tire.
Huge shatter coming in, however, no, actually he only finds Red Panda and Zorthcon. I thought more were on the ground, but Minimax is bigger. Igglebop and Mellow falling, and that will be OTW on the back foot, just trying to get out without staggering too hard. However, Minimax wants me dead so bad right now, but it looks like they will not get any further staggers.
That over-aggression that we talked about me being a little bit privy to came very much in play there. He pushed up, got a good shatter, I'll give him that, but his team was just not there to respond. And then he ended up getting hacked, which gave Minimax the free shatter in return. And now it's going to be very difficult for One.
Fights Titanic so incredibly early into that fight. However, Spongy Cheese is flanking around on the background. He is teleporting up onto the high ground, waiting for an opportunity. The Immortality Field tossed out rather early, and me does fall. Not sure if they really even need the Death Blossom, and it just looks like they decided against it. Igglebop actually finding Minimax in the backline, but it's really just a Lone Reaper and Sombra. 360 has to get out, and it looks like he decides to take the way out by Zorthcon's ultimate fire.
This is gonna be tough, I'm not gonna lie. One Trick Wonders, first of all, they're not gonna be able to cap it with time in the bank, so either way, they're playing for a draw at most, and they're playing into 5 ultimates coming in from One Trick Wonders.
Will immediately find 3 both supports and Sombra now down.
Oh, man.
Wisdom are just gonna be evening up the series right there.
The one time you don't check your corners and Spongy Cheese that makes you pay for it. That was an incredible play from him. They were not expecting it at all. Luckily, 105 versus 102 didn't end up mattering.
Thankfully.
Because, yeah. So, yeah, here's that incredible flank Blossom. You could see 360 taken out just before he could get the hack off.
Unfortunately, by that point, it wouldn't have even mattered, as both supports were dead, so... good play there from Spongy Cheese. It was telegraphed to hell and back, but I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
It did in fact work. I will give it to him. So now we move to 1-1 on the series. One Trick Wonders will have the map pick of Escort. Of the Escort maps available to them, which one do you think One Trick's going to go with?
Ooh, probably Rialto if I had to guess. That set seems to play into their strengths as much as possible. Sure enough, Wisdom will be choosing defense, by the way. Or wait, no. Never mind, maybe they're waiting for the map pick. they going back on their decision. But,
yeah, maybe. Just maybe. But yeah, I mean, I would say that that defense from Wisdom looked really good. They did a very good job of nullifying what made One Trick Wonders really good in the first map. They did not let One Trick play the game that they wanted to play. Whether that was through some very well-timed ultimate combos or Titanic on the Junkrat, Zorthcon putting in some good work there on the Zarya as well. And honestly, I want to give a shout out to Red Panda on the Baptiste. It felt like that they were building up ultimate super quickly.
Yeah, definitely felt like about once every 1.5 fights he'd have it up. Sure enough, Rialto is the map pick, so no surprises there. It seems to be the popular pick, especially knowing OTW's preferred hero pool. This can play into some snipers. Okay, Wisdom does choose defense. They just wanted to wait for the map pick to be sure.
Yep. Rialto, we see that all the time, and of course Alpha's going to be coming in for Spongy Cheese, which is something we see a lot. Alpha Omega just seems to kind of be their Rialto specialist of sorts.
They tend to like to put him on Ashe and Kree, yeah.
Yeah, Alpha Omega comes in to play the Ashe a lot.
However, 360 exists.
360 does exist, and probably the best pure sniper in Novice, I would say. Dude can hit headshots. That's all I'll say.
Definitely can.
So, kind of waiting on the readies from both teams here. I would say that Wisdom has taken back sort of the momentum that One Trick Wonders had at the end of Lijiang. Whether or not the pause in the game kind of messed up One Trick Wonders' rhythm is neither here nor there. I'd say just overall very good map from Wisdom.
Yeah, you gotta at least hope that that a pause like that doesn't mess with the momentum of a team too much, or at the very least, there's no excuse for it at this point. You're in the semifinals match. If you're here and you want to get into the grand finals, you can't allow something like that to stop your momentum and force you out of your comfort zone. You just kind of have to keep rolling with the punches and just keep playing your game. And I'm hoping, at the very least, that OTW doesn't just roll over and die here, as that would be tragic.
It really would be, because they showed so much potential on Lijiang. They showed, I saw a genuinely really good team on Lijiang that kind of got stifled a little bit on Wisdom, and maybe a little bit of a good, adjustments from Wisdom that really helped to keep them at bay.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the teams have about a minute remaining. I don't know who's given the ready call because I have to hide chat, but
I believe both teams have now said they're ready, so we should be heading in any moment now. And here we go.
All right.
Coming into Rialto.
Welcome to Rialto.
Expect snipers. Expect possibly Pharah, possibly an Echo. I would not be shocked to see any of those. What I would be shocked to see is more of the same of what we have been seeing. I would not really expect to see the Reaper Sombra anymore. Maybe a bit of Sombra here. Probably not the Reaper. This ain't the map for that.
It's tough, especially considering all of the high grounds that are available to teams. And yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of
sure enough
hit scan characters paired with Echoes, Alpha Omega, seems to be slotting into that Ashe role that we thought he would. However, the tank difference is very interesting. A double shield composition coming out from Wisdom, while One Trick opts currently. They do have 20 seconds to change it, but currently looking at a Rein Zarya.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I've actually seen this a decent amount, but they still have time to swap for OTW. But seeing a Reinhardt on offense and a Orisa on defense is pretty standard. Looks like they might actually be going for the Rein Orisa.
Yes, Rein Orisa it is, and 360 is going to be playing the Doom. No, he swaps onto the Widow. We'll see what he does if he can't find any picks off spawn here, which the team is pretty well shielded up. It's going to be tough for him to find much value, and yeah, he's going to go ahead and no, actually, he's going to be leaving spawn with Widow here. So it's going to be a very interesting sniper battle between him and Alpha Omega developing.
Yeah. Funnily enough, although not entirely surprising, both Echoes kind of have to be careful here, as they each have a sniper to worry about for the time being. OTW taking a lot of poke damage now without their lamp. Every bit of damage is going to be permanent, as... Yeah, okay, the kills start rolling in for Wisdom Academy, and that's going to be the hold for the time being.
No one's looking at Zorthcon. That was crazy, as the entirety of OTW, like, rotated through the sort of hotel area. Zorthcon just kind of stayed on that high ground and was pumping in damage with his orbs from behind, and no one looked at him. One
of the best advantages you can have is Sigma is holding the high ground for as long as possible, so the fact that he did that, not surprising that he's, you know, three-quarters of the way to his Gravitic Flux. Once again, the teams are just poking it out, so OTW looks like they're going to be forcing Wisdom off of the high ground this time around. They don't want to make the same mistake they did last time. 360 actually onto the McCree this time around. Gravitic Flux already coming in, but Phantom Flex should have the lamp.
And it's massive, too. Yeah, I guess Phantom Flex must have already used his Immortality Field or mistimed it or something like that, but yeah, One Trick Wonders forced back to spawn once again. Absolutely stuffed by Wisdom Academy so far. Does Mellow? No, Mellow doesn't get away. That is really unfortunate. Now some swaps coming out. Phantom Flex is on the Ana, and Mia swapped to Winston. We've got a double bubble comp coming out from One Trick. Trying to potentially isolate and kill, I would say, probably Red Panda on the Zen.
More than likely Red Panda, Alpha, or Zorthcon. Any of those are good dive targets in this scenario, but it really depends on their positionings. In this case, Zorthcon would probably be the easiest, but who knows if OTW is going to choose that. No, it looks like they're going to be going immediately for Red Panda. A little bit more obvious. Geekake does fall, however, but the kills are coming more in favor of Wisdom as the dive just kind of crumbles apart.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh no.
It's a decent idea, it just doesn't end up working out very well. I mean, Geekake does die, but not without taking multiple members of One Trick Wonders with them. 360 on a bit of a flank adventure right now on the Sombra, and we are now looking at a point where Wisdom just has so many ults to work with, and all that One Trick Wonders are going to have is the beat and maybe the copy. Yep. He jumps in, but Red Panda does have the trans.
The Alpha kind of whiffs the bob there. He's off into Narnia. He somehow can still see part of the points, but not for long. But it looks like Wisdom are still holding their composure, as they aren't really that low, whereas Blue Jay does fall. Zorthcon actually does taken out by 360, but Wisdom is rolling in the kills right now. And yep, that's going to be me falling. About 20 seconds remaining. We're getting into dicey territory for OTW, and they don't have much to work with here, as Phantom Flex once again goes to his little hidey hole. But
yeah,
sure
I will say if 360 can build up his EMP here, he's at 80% right now, and Phantom Flex is about to have his nano as well. If they can do this, oh no, Red Panda! As I'm saying that, and no one can touch.
They poked him away. Oh,
that's incredible. There was potential there. 360 was gonna have his EMP. They were going to have Primal. They were going to have Nano Boost. There was definitely potential there for One Trick Wonders to push up to push up into second point, but a clutch kill from Red Panda on the Sombra, as I assume that 360 tried to farm up the rest of his old charge off of him. And as I assume 360 was the person they were expecting to touch, I mean, no one could get there in time.
Yeah.
That's insane.
A little bit of a miscommunication there. A little bit of odd compositional choices from OTW as well. 360 has always struggled with the Sombra, so it's surprised to see him swap off of the McCree and Widowmaker onto the Sombra willingly. You know, maybe that was just something that the team called for, but that's definitely not something that was in their comfort pick zone, you know, here with the Ashe, which is what I would have expected him to play in the first place. I mean, it's definitely going to be something that we're more familiar seeing him on. But as to whether they'll be able to hold, this isn't exactly the most holdable position in first point, you know, if it was...
It's going to be tough, but they are looking at just the bunker comp right now. They have a double shield and a bastion from Eagle right now. Man, this is going to be tough. Just 78 meters stands between Wisdom and going up to match point.
Interesting that Titanic opts to swap over to the Echo from the Sombra. I would have thought that the Sombra would be a little bit more apt at picking apart this bunker, but maybe he has other plans in mind. A lot of poke damage coming in. OTW backs up. It looks like they want to hold more along this alleyway. Actually, no, they're backing way up, well beyond where they need to hold.
Yeah. One Trick really wants to make this a one-fight affair. They're gonna make their final stand right here as they have Igglebot positioned behind sort of the golden box of victory here. But the shields are going down very quickly for one Trick. It's looking not great, and Red Panda again on the Zenyatta finds 360.
They need to touch! They need to touch!
Oh my god!
That...
I can't...
Oh, okay, well, one Trick just kind of died.
But they didn't die, though. No one was dead.
No, but they died mentally. Because they just sat there and stood at the car. I don't... That... Why wouldn't you at least hold up, you know, right where you can see Blue Jay was running around on the Orisa in this play of the game? Rather interesting.
That is...
I was so shocked that I was so shocked that I forgot to update the stream stuff.
Whew! Alright, well, that was a One Trick Wonders team that was just completely, it felt, out of their league. They did not know what to do against Wisdom's comp on their offense. And then on defense, there was obviously a plan there, but the execution, I mean... I understand the thought process of having Eagle play far back and having his shields protecting him, but I mean, then who touches cart? I assume it would be like the Orisa or someone. I don't know. You just can't let that happen.
It's also fascinating, and another thing you can't let happen is OTW shields were burning faster than Wisdom's. One Trick had a Bastion. He alone could have broken Wisdom shields faster than both Titanic and Alpha Omega combined. You know, so I don't know. That was a complete lack of communication, a lack of understanding of what the win condition was, and that was just OTW rolling over and dying. That entire Rialto felt like OTW playing what they perceived to be the best possible thing, not taking into account what their players are good at.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm having trouble believing that what the team we saw in Lijiang and the team we saw in Rialto are the same team. Like, how has this just changed so drastically? I mean, on Lijiang, One Trick just looked so in control and so sure of themselves, and that they just looked all over the place. It's really disappointing. I mean, the game isn't over yet. I don't want to act like the game is already over, because One Trick, I mean, all it takes is one good fight, I think, could put One Trick back into that state of mind that they need to be in. And with 2CP being sort of the snowball map type, I mean, it's not over. It's not over. But man, was that not a crushing blow for One Trick's mentality, I have to say.
Yeah, you gotta hope that they can take this extra time that they have. You know, they have a little over 3 minutes before we gotta get into the next map to collect themselves and say like, hey, look, we can do this. We did this before. We made King's Row really close. We made Lijiang extremely close. Well, actually,
they won Lijiang.
Yeah, one match with Lijiang was close. The other one was just a dominance for OTW. So they have it in them. They just gotta bring it out.
Yeah, it's. Whoa. All right. Sneaky has said they are going to Temple of Anubis. That is what TOA means. I had to agree with Navino. I've never seen it be called that, but I did understand it. So Temple coming out from One Trick Wonders, I would say this is definitely potentially a maybe trying to put the game into the hands of the Tree 60, their sniper specialists. This is a very good sniper map. Also, Eagle, also a good Junkrat map, which Eagle does like to play. Unfortunately, though, so does Titanic. Also, a very interesting. Spongey's going to come back in for Alpha. That was expected, but we also have another swap. Nookmar is going to be coming in for Geekake on the main support position.
I believe that is a relatively normal sub for Wisdom. They tend to plop him in on Anubis. He seems to know the set plan here and everything, so it seems like a comfort zone for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never honestly seen Nookmar play for Wisdom this season, so very interested to see how that goes. One Trick, of course, seeming to be sticking on to that team that they. That this is kind of their ride or die 6 that they're going with right now. So I really hope that they can pull through after Rialto.
Yeah,
that was tough for them.
Yeah, unfortunately, but they do have about a minute 10 seconds remaining, so they have more to. Okay, they're just going straight into it.
We go.
Now entering the temple of Anubis.
OTW will have attack first.
Yeah, OTW will have attack first, which it's honestly really tough. They really need not only to break through the sort of I think right now it's just as much OTW versus OTW as much as it's OTW versus Wisdom.
Oh,
they need to recollect themselves after that tough Rialto map and get themselves just like that one really good play, that one really good fight to get them to take point A. And if they can do that, I think they can reset mentally and get themselves in a position to take us to a map 5. However, it's just as easy for them to potentially lose the first fight, go, man, we were up against Wisdom anyways, and get full health.
Yeah, well, it's going to be up to them. This attack is going to be the defining moment for them in their season, as
I would have to say,
do or die. You know, they can either pop off and become, you know, the top tier team that they always were close to becoming but never could quite be, or they can just kind of fizzle out and let Wisdom go to the finals.
A little bit of a messed up jump from Minimax. I don't think it's going to end up changing anything, but I'm not 100% sure what happened as he tried to jump back to the high ground. Oh!
Okay. Tree. I saw that from third person, but that was a beautiful shot. Oh, okay. Yep, well, Tree's the better sniper, if there was any doubt about it.
The Tree 60 Widow is okay, but what is Eagle doing all the way over there? That was a little bit ill-advised. Just kind of all by himself in no man's land with 5 Wisdom members on the high ground there. But luckily, he will be back up pretty soon.
Oh, no. Okay, well, Mello is trapped, but it doesn't look like Wisdom were collapsing in quick enough to really make a difference there. Interesting that
Minimax is antied, so that's going to allow them to try and go through. A Tree with a kick on the Nookmar.
Are you kidding me, man?
Actually, massive Tree! He's actually popping off right now on this. This is the Widowmaker that we were promised at the beginning of this game. And that is what One Trick Wonders needed. 360 pulled through when they needed him most.
A little bit early walls there, not really worth much, as you know they're not even going to be pushing in until about halfway through the duration. But
Tree's probably swapping.
Yeah, Widowmaker is
Widow
the
not nearly as
best.
good on B attack.
I don't like the Sombra, but that's just because of his history on it. You'll have to see how he makes value of it. However, Wisdom did make quite a few swaps of their own. So we'll have to wait and see. Both Anna's literally neck and neck in ult percentage, so we'll have to see how that works out. Iggledy Bop on a little bit of a flank, but Phantom Flex dying so early isn't going to be very good. OTW's
Yeah, losing
chances...
here Ana first. They're gonna get the mech off of Zorthcon, which could end up being big moving into the next fight, but yeah. So this, I think, should be big, though, for One Trick. They couldn't quite snowball it straight up, but they will have both tank ults coming into this fight. They will also have the duplicate from Eagle and the nano boost from Phantom. Also, they'll probably have the beat as well. This is like the fight, and if they can get this here and get like a 4-minute time on Anubis, I mean, this could be looking really good. But Eagle's hack!
No!
Oh no!
Beautiful hack from Titanic, completely melting Iggledy Bop, and it looks like that was the go sign for Wisdom Academy, as they even invested their nano boost there just to make sure the Minimax would stay alive and get a little bit of extra damage, and just a tiny bit chunkier up in the kill feed.
That's so tough there for One Trick Wonders. Luckily, the silver lining here is that they knew it was a lost fight, and they only lost Mii's Primal Rage. However, now that they've lost that fight, they've given Wisdom the time to get their EMP bomb combo
Look at
up.
this early hold coming in from Wisdom. They're ready to go the second it happens. There comes the EMP. 6 men down.
Oh,
6
man.
men.
What a good play from Wisdom. They were not expecting the forward hold at all.
That's only going to work about once, though, as OTW still has so many ultimates to work with, and we actually swapping to the Reinhardt now, so we might see a little bit more aggression coming out from OTW as they can swing themselves.
And I'm gonna say this again, One Trick did not use any ult, so now 360 is coming up to his EMP. Titanic just used his, so they know there's not one in response. I mean, the ult advantage is still pretty clearly in One Trick Wonder's court. And we've got the double Rhine coming out.
On the field. Bomb coming in from Zorthcon. Catches
Oh
Blue Jay
my
out.
God.
Minimax looks for a shatter. Will land 3 people on their back. He will pay for it with his life, but the deed is done. Wisdom won that fight, and everyone else is being staggered on the side of OTW.
They were really banking on that. Again, they only use one ult. What is One Trick Wonder just needs to say go at some point here. It's like the 4th fight now where they have at least 4 ults online. And I don't know, it was a mistimed bubble from self bubble from Blue Jay that allowed him to get caught out by the bomb. But I mean, at some point here, One Trick Wonders just needs to say, this is the fight, we're going to use it. I think this is the one.
You do have the EMP being invested. I'm surprised that the grab wasn't, but I guess it's better that it wasn't now because they will have it to stall out the point. Or not stall out the point, but take it, rather, as Zorthcon is retreating to point, trying to get healed up. Wisdom coming back. One altogether. The Graviton does come in. Wisdom can't touch. However, you do have Titanic onto the point. Spongy Cheese tosses in. The Death Blossom will take out Mii. That is a good amount of the defensive capabilities now gone.
That was
Minimax
a big
was nanoed.
anti-nade coming out from Red Panda to find Mii. No healing available for him. And that's what eventually allowed One Trick to fall there and Wisdom to take this point back. So minute 30 left. One Trick finally did the thing and pressed the button, and they do have 83.6% on this point. Now they're pretty much going to be looking for Mii's Shatter versus Titanic's
It's a 6-man
EMP.
maybe? Titanic waiting for it.
Yeah, they...
360 the only one not caught out, but it doesn't really matter as the bulk of the team will now be just melting under the pressure of Wisdom. And once again, a minute remaining, and OTW has a little bit less than a tick to
These fights from Wisdom on B have just been so clean. It's been ridiculous.
No.
Oh, man, finding 360 out like that is actually terrible. That makes it so that instead of getting maybe 2 sort of rush fights, I mean, this so pretty much forces last fight situation for One Trick here. They will have the Shatter, they will have the EMP Blossom as well, but they will be going into the tank ults. Also, Red Panda will probably have Nano Boosts on the side. Oh!
Huge Shatter coming in from me, as well as an anti-nade for Phantom Flex. I'm not sure if the Net Blossom was necessary, but it does clean up the fight a good amount. Zorthkon tosses in the bomb, not really going to find anything, and he's really just feeding ult percentage now as he remechs.
Yeah, just trying to stall the best he can, but this should be One Trick taking the point. The question is if they can do it with time.
Shatter coming in from Minimax will ground 3, but is
no way, right?
He's cleaning up, and he kills as Wisdom gets off. Minimax charges me off the point, but that's a double-edged sword, and unfortunately it bit him more than it bit OTW.
Yeah, if he had just stuck onto the point and fought it out, they probably would have been able to stall One Trick Wonders down into overtime.
That was actually the fault of Milo. He booped him off while he was in charge.
That was a good play by Mello then.
So, good job from Melo.
I mean, it condemned me to his death, but that's all they really needed, as they were scared the rest of Wisdom off the point. So, hindsight, it worked. In the moment, iffy.
So, 5.5 seconds on the clock now for One Trick. It's now up to Wisdom to respond. They were eventually able to put together their ults the way they wanted to, and yeah, One Trick was coming out with a very interesting comp, looking for that spam damage coming in from Eagle Bebop, as well as Tree 60's Ash putting in some nice headshots. I mean, this is the kind of comp you get when you want a full hold here.
Definitely. Wisdom coming out with this Shadow Brawl. Theoretically, if we're talking about the highest level of play, this should get completely obliterated is the word I'm thinking of, by what OTW is running, but it really depends at this level of play how these teams play it. Going to be very much up to Titanic and how much he can harass the backline with this Sombra.
Alright, well, Wisdom is now... the ball is in their court now to respond. They're going to do a pretty nice-looking rotate up to the left side. Can Eagle find a pick on the rotation? No, he cannot. So, a good start here coming out from Wisdom Academy, as they can now take advantage of this high ground that they have. And now, One Trick is forced to respond.
Dynamite coming in onto the point, a decent amount of Wisdom is now on fire, and they get off point to sort of section themselves off as OTW are coming in huge with the majority of these kills for the kill feed, but Wisdom is backing up onto the point. Eventually do take a tick, but 360's Dynamite thinks otherwise about any more progress being made. Spongy Cheese takes out 360 so that it might create a small opening, but Wisdom is also in tatters, so they're going to have to wait a little while to recontest.
That was a very interesting play from Wisdom to kind of force them to switch sides. They forced One Trick Wonders off of the point, but they did a very good job of bending but not breaking, and eventually the spam damage came through.
Shatter coming in will not find anything, but he does fall eventually, as well as the Immortality Field coming up, but Eagle Bebop finds 3. That should be the fight 1 for OTW, but as I say that, Wisdom are ready to go. They invest the Coalescence and are actually finding the kills with Mello now down. It looks like... well, it doesn't really look like anything at the moment.
The Wisdom want to fight this. No, with Zorthkon losing his mech, that is going to be One Trick. Man, that was saved.
Wisdom is still coming in. They're staggering in even further. And Blue Jay decides to punish their overzealousness as Minimax gets Gravitic Fluxed. Why are there so many things named Grav in this game? As OTW did a brilliant job of saying, oh, you want to push in with 3? We're going to punish you for that.
That was good, but it did, to be fair, force out the Gravitic Flux from Blue Jay. A very big tool that, it takes some time off the clock for Wisdom as they regroup here. But Titanic is going to have his EMP. It'll be interesting to see how he decides to use it with this sort of split approach that One Trick is taking right now.
Definitely. On the other side, it is worth noting that they do have the Valkyria online as well as 360's Bob. Depending on how they use these, they could very easily stall out the point and help OTW surge forth. The bomb coming in from Zorthcon first, interestingly enough, will not find anything, but forces everyone off the point
Oh, man,
as Me
they
gets
found...
caught out. And it looks like Wisdom might be taking a second tick here while OTW regather themselves. Bomb being dropped in onto the point. Wisdom sort of forced back into this little corner here as Titanic is taken out before he gets a chance to use his EMP. Spongy Cheese's Death Blossom gets completely eaten by Blue Jay. The bomb takes out Minimax. The tire will not find anything. I'm not sure what Egolibop is going for there.
This One Trick Wonders should be taking this fight here eventually, but emboldened by the Coalescence, and now Titanic finally with the EMP coming out. Now, it seems like Wisdom may be taking control of this fight.
It's very sloppy, and it's hard to tell exactly who's going to win, but considering it's just a Sigma and a Mercy on point now, just a Sigma, yeah, Wisdom should take it. Actually, no, Egolibop is still alive. I didn't even realize he was raining on death from on high, but he will eventually fall, leaving Wisdom with 3.5 minutes remaining. Not the best time bank, but if they take it fast, it could be better than OTW's.
Yeah, I mean, they still will have a solid 3 or 4 attacks to get to take this, and I mean, it's looking like One Trick should be able to hold this first fight. They will have the window from Phantom Flex as well as both tank ults. Meanwhile, we're just going to be seeing the tank ults from One Trick. The Shatter battle from Minimax and me might be big
Gravitic
here.
Flux coming in as well as the bomb. The bomb not finding anything, but the Gravitic Flux takes Minimax dangerously low. Zorthcon does get his mech back. Minimax is, of course, the first one to fall,
down.
but 360 on the off angle there does get taken out by the rest of Wisdom, who are backing up. Me does fall, and he did have Shatter as well, but it looks like OTW is getting ready to collapse in onto the remainder of Wisdom Academy as Spongy Cheese dies mid-animation for his Death Blossom. Zorthcon now demech'd. Egolibop should stay alive here as both supports are just keeping him alive as best they can.
Minimax, you better back up. You better back up. Yeah, okay, there he goes.
He was at death's door, but he managed to survive for the time being.
A bit of an ill-advised Death Blossom there from Spongy Cheese. The trades were going back and forth, which obviously on a fight like this very much favors the defenders. However, I mean, if there's going to be a fight where Wisdom can take this, I mean, they're going to have the EMP, which they love to combo into things like Shatter. Actually, I mean, Mellow, only 10%.
Ooh.
Oh,
Me tries to get a cheeky Shatter there, but it didn't quite work. As the EMP Shatter comes in from Wisdom, it will just clean up house. A late beat coming in from Mellow just to help stall the point as much as possible. Blue Jay tosses in the Gravitic Flux, but he dies before he can get it off. Egolibop tries to do the same with the Death Blossom. Doesn't quite work. He does survive long enough to use it, but not get any value out of it, as Wisdom used all of their ultimates. Zorthcon not quite there yet. OTW has to touch. The Bob comes in. It will just keep the percentage from going up too high. Minimax does get charged up by me, so nice contest there. Blue Jay back on the Wrecking Ball. The bomb is...
Eagle gets a kill as well. This isn't over.
No, Egolibop onto the Reaper. Spongy Cheese wants revenge.
That was insane from Wisdom. I don't know if this was on purpose, but it might have been. What Wisdom seemed to fake the aggressive push so that Me would use his Shatter. Minimax was ready with his shield, and then they were able to use the EMP Shatter combo to eventually push through to a point-lead victory.
I don't know.
I mean, if that was a set play from Wisdom, that was incredible.
I don't think it was quite as calculated. I was spectating Minimax as they were pushing in. He did the little jump thing where he like unshields and then reshields, and then I think what he was planning on doing is after he reshield, he would drop it and then Shatter, and Me just happened to use his Shatter as he reshielded. So I think...
Alright, well, now we come back to 1 minute on the clock for One Trick Wonders, and their Lee Zero lives are on the line here. 360 will be locking that same Widowmaker that got them the point the first time. Will Wisdom be better equipped to counter it? They have the same comp as they did last time, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna have to play it entirely differently because last time they just kind of crumbled apart when push came to shove, whereas OTW played it rather well. But I believe they also had a Reinhardt OTW, so wait and see. Looks like the positionings are a little bit different, but for the most part, it's going to be the same song and dance for Wisdom Academy here on the defense. The dive comes in, tries to force out Titanic, but it looks like Minimax is actually going to be falling rather low. Titanic will find Iggledy-Bop. Not sure why he was so far into the backline once again, but OTW does have control of the high ground as Red Panda is getting focused down. He will be healed up, but OTW are now onto the point. Knee falls, and they don't really have time to fully disengage.
You need to back up now if you're One Trick Wonder. Zorthcon loses his mech. That could be big for this recontest. They're actually going to just try and take him down completely, which he does eventually fall. Even though Diva's a pretty speedy character, she does have a bit of a trek to go before she could rejoin the fight. If One Trick can be quick here, they can take advantage of a 5v6.
Looks like Iggledy-Bop is dropping back 2 points. It doesn't look like he can prevent me from touching, but Blue Jay is going to fall. Phantom Flex falling incredibly low, and he will actually fall there to a dive from Wisdom Academy. They're so very close to 1 tick, but Wisdom isn't willing to give it up quite yet. Red Panda getting harassed by Iggledy-Bop, but Iggle will be the first one to fall in that engagement. Spongy Cheese trying to challenge 360, trading blows, but it looks like Tree will take the better of that duel, but it doesn't quite matter.
I mean, you needed that to happen from 360 earlier. I mean, what ended up working out so well for them the first time, I think it just 360. It just was really dependent on 360 hitting his shots, and in the Novice division, you know, that can't be a super consistent thing that you depend on.
I think it was also partially Wisdom positioning rather well. Towards the end, when the fight got a little bit hectic, is when they were more out into the open for 360 sightlines. So that was just good play by Wisdom. And also, Meats looked to be diving rather far into the backline where Phantom Flex and Mellow couldn't really help him, which I think is partially what what caused the team to just crumble apart, because you have your Winston way up front and then the rest of the team further back.
Alright, so Wisdom Academy now for the win and the spot in the grand finals. They have 2 minutes and 1 second exactly to take the first tick of point A. However, taking point A was a bit of a challenge for them on their first go-around.
Definitely was. It took them right up to about 30 seconds, so for all we know, this could be a draw, and we could be going to another control point that is not Busan, but we'll have to wait and see, as Wisdom still has 2 minutes. You gotta play it cleaner, and they're playing the exact same thing. Actually, OTW is playing something different this time around.
Yeah, they've got themselves a Reinhardt now instead of an Orisa that they had the first time.
Nakamura taking a good amount of poke damage to start it off, but he won't fall. Luckily for Wisdom, someone falls into the trap of Iggledy-Bop into that little room there. Spam damage coming in, but it's just going to be a standard rotation as they survive for the
little
time being.
Scary there from One Trick. Some good chunk damage done from Iggle, who's 50% to his ultimate already. And he finds Minimax.
Gets completely destroyed there. Is Iggledy-Bop lighting up the kill feed? Okay. Yeah, and sure enough, Me finds Nakamura with a good fire strike. Zorthcon, they should probably just stagger him. Not sure if they'll actually do so. No, guess not.
Okay. This is looking to potentially be going into draw territory, actually. We have Iggle, who has Tire, and no one really has anything going into this next fight.
It's just
the Tire. It's just the Tire.
And this is going to be the last clean fight, because the way Wisdom is taking with the rotations and everything, they're not going to be touching point until probably closer to 35 seconds, give or take. Tire already coming in, so it looks like...
Tire comes out early. A bit of a gamble here from Iggle, and he does find
that's a huge pick as well.
Finding Red Panda is massive. I think if you're Wisdom, you don't want to try and commit here without your Moira, but you do it anyways. A dive comes in.
They do actually find 360, and they will take him out, but Nakamura falling. They have no healers on the side of Wisdom Academy. I don't think that's going to end very well. They have 20 seconds, no time whatsoever. They didn't even stagger the Diva amateurs. but OTW now has a lot to work with, and Wisdom not so much.
We got 7 seconds. Is anyone going to be able to get on there and touch? Red Panda's kind of in a position where they can maybe do so.
Nakamura's trying to, but he gets taken out by Phantom Flex. Spongy Cheese does eventually touch, as well as Red Panda. Actually, both of which get onto point. Did OTW just choke this out? They can't.
Wait a second.
playoff lives on the line. Blue Jay gets the Gravitic Flux, and he should not die here. No, he doesn't. It looks like Milo will bring Phantom Flex back up. OTW bringing this back from the brink. They should stay alive long enough to bring it. Yep, and that should be about it.
If you're a One Trick Wonders fan, your heart just dropped. Wow.
And then some.
Play of the game.
Let's see.
Alrighty,
so
well.
2-2. Yeah, no surprise there that Iggledy Bop gets play. OTW are still in it, but
they are still in it.
Skin of their teeth.
This is going to be. Well, I'll tell you what it's going to be. It might be delaying the expert game is what it might be doing.
Sorry, Chengdu and Newt. Nothing we can do about that, though. As, let's see, so the next map picks are going to be, if we go back up, I can't show this on the map screen, unfortunately, because it's not built for this, but it'll be either Ilios or Nepal.
Ilios or Nepal is what One Trick has to choose from. As the loser of the previous, they will get map, they will get point, sorry, they will get map pick once again. So Nookmar is going to get swapped out once again for Geekcake. Wisdom will be putting on the starting roster that we know them for the best. As we go into a fifth map of Nepal.
All right. Well, I can't change anything on the overlay because it's not built for a tie, unfortunately. But something we can look into for next season, I suppose. In the meantime, OTW, this is going to be their penultimate chance. You know, they have potential.
One Trick Wonders has a path to victory, but it's a very tough one. They need to win their map pick of Nepal here, and then they will need to win Busan as a sixth map. Ooh boy, we're getting into it, Akri.
This is going to be interesting because while Wisdom made one of the maps on Lijiang particularly close, ironically, it was the first one, if I recall correctly, whereas OTW kind of dominantly took the second map of Lijiang, so they had the momentum in Control. And Control's an entirely different beast. And from here on out, the entire series is going to be Control, regardless of what happens. So,
yeah,
maybe
if it's possible that if One Trick Wonders wins this, they win with only Control.
Yeah.
That's kind of insane, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, to be honest,
it's what the rules say, but it's what the rules say. But I don't know. Maybe that's something to consider next time around if we end up in this situation again. Which again we might not. I mean, Wisdom still has 2 maps to shut the door on One Trick Wonders' hopes.
Definitely.
And I mean, it's not like their Wisdom's momentum was necessarily taken away from them. They definitely showed a lot of really good stuff on Anubis.
Definitely, but they also look a lot sloppier in a way than they have in like the regular season, for example. I don't know if they came into this game underprepared or maybe just complacent, but they don't look quite as dominant as before, and I'm not entirely sure if that's OTW playing up or Wisdom playing down.
I don't know. I would say O2W is probably playing up in these in most of these scenarios. Wisdom are making a couple mistakes, but I think mostly it's One Trick Wonders playing better than we have seen before.
Well,
that's what I think.
We will see regardless in about 1:45 at the latest, as that's how much time these teams have. And I would imagine that OTW is currently going through the ringer being like, look guys, you got this, just relax and stay focused.
Yeah, this is by far, like, the big thing is that Wisdom cannot feel like, oh god, they can't start panicking is what I'm trying to say. Wisdom
definitely not.
In most cases, honestly, from what I've seen, when they like slow down and they think out their plays, they are the better team. And they need to not panic and not play into One Trick's hands. If they can do that, I think they can pretty easily take Nepal here and end the series right then and there. However, if One Trick manages to take it, then all of a sudden, Wisdom Academy has found themselves in a 6th map sudden death when they were not really expecting to be in that situation. I'm sure that Navino is probably telling the team the same thing, as we are now both ready and we should be heading into Nepal.
All right, well, this is do or die for really both of these teams, as Wisdom definitely does not want to be going to Busan for a 6-map affair.
Yeah, absolutely not. Of course, last time Wisdom went to Busan in Week 8 against Geometric, they lost.
Yep.
Of course, the only time they have lost a series this entire season. I will say, has Wisdom actually won in a map 5? No, all of their games otherwise were either 3-1s or 3-0s. So the only time they've been taken to a map 5 to Busan, they've lost it. So if you're One Trick, I mean, this could be like the pivotal map if you're One Trick.
Possibly. And we will have to wait and see exactly how this turns out. Interesting potential composition from OTW here, double hit scan.
Yeah, the double hit scan that they're going to be coming out with, they want to kind of take advantage with these like sort of high ground areas that are around the point, I think, and kind of set up a crossfire. Meanwhile, Wisdom is going to be running that Shadow Brawl comp that that's their bread and butter. They love playing this.
Yeah, definitely, and Wisdom almost immediately has to duck into the corner there just to not take too much damage. They rush in towards the bunker, but they are taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Spongy Cheese gets rather low, but he will survive for the time being. Neither team are bothering with the point quite yet. It looks like Wisdom will be backing out. They don't want to force too far into the room. No one has died quite yet. However, Mello is
going to have his ult, though. Minimax is going to have Shatter.
He should, yes. However, it will be difficult to find a Shatter. Oh, he finds, what was that, 4, 3? Already, the Coalescence coming out as well.
And the Coalescence, too. He just walked past the shields and shattered.
And that'll be Wisdom cleaning up, and they did take control of the point there. That is going to be a good start for them.
Big team kill. However, it did take 2 ultimates for them to do it. Me is going to go ahead and swap onto... Now, okay, lots of swaps. It looks like One Trick is opting to pretty much mirror OTW. I mean, yeah, One Trick is mirroring Wisdom here.
Already Wisdom taking a rather quick hold here. And it looks like OTW will disengage briefly to figure out what they want to do. As Mello does have the window, but I'm not sure if they want to invest that quite yet. A lot of damage coming in onto me, and he actually will be the first one to fall. Yet another shatter for Minimax, playing out of his mind on the Reinhardt for the time being.
That's insane. That's 2 shatters for 2 fights for Minimax right now, and now they're going to be pushing in. They've actually found the stagger on the 360.
So OTW doesn't have too much to work with. Phantom Flex actually swapped off of, I believe, the Moira and onto the Baptiste. We'll have something new to work with here, as the EMP will find 3. Spongy Cheese gets booped into the backline and finds 3, however. And that's going to be Wisdom once again cleaning up with really only 2 ultimates used.
Oh no. This is not looking good for One Trick right now. They have yet to build up ultimates. They've tried to push into One Trick like twice or 3 times now. Sorry, they've tried to push into Wisdom like twice or 3 times now. Me, Blue Jade 360. I mean, this is one fight territory, and if they end up losing as quickly as they did for the last couple fights, I mean, they're not going to get their ults.
Bomb coming in from Zorthcon, threads the needle and will find Mello. That is probably going to be the round. Actually, no, Blue Jay does get a touch, so at the very least, overtime is here. But, I mean...
Shatter doesn't get
kills
much.
are just unanimously coming in favor of Wisdom Academy here, as Igglebop can't do anything about it. Blue Jay gets unceremoniously booted off point. Mello, entry 60 can't touch!
Oh my god.
This is something else.
One Trick Wonders, I mean, they tried to take the Brawl Mirror, and they just got completely outplayed.
That wasn't even outplayed, that was just Wisdom flipping the switch and taking it to another level. This is what it means to go further beyond, apparently.
Yeah, you have forced Wisdom to use their final form, which is, I guess, properly played Brawl or something. I don't know. Now, very interesting stuff, though. Wisdom is currently showing... Okay, Titanic is going to swap off to the Pharah. Would have been fun, though.
Unfortunate. I love some good Pharah play, but we'll be seeing... I'd imagine Spongy will probably swap off. Yeah, he immediately runs back into spawn. He'll be on the Reaper.
Interestingly, no Sombra here on the side of One Trick, and I think, Akri, you'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, well, they seem to perform better when Tree is on the McCree, barring last round, but that was just Wisdom doing something different. Immediately me falls as Wisdom is just in go mode.
The spam damage from Wisdom is just so good, and me just can't just stand up at the front and swing his hammer 2-3 times in a row. He just gets spammed down. I don't know, his healing just isn't quite there. Red Panda is going to have Coalescence, and Phantom Flex is only halfway there. I mean, I just don't know, the healing just doesn't seem to be as there for me as it is for Minimax.
Early hack onto me from Titanic, but no one's going to be able to capitalize on it, so that's a bit of a waste of effort there. However, 360 is in the backline on the Sombra now. Tries to fight it out with Titanic, but thinks better of it later on. Red Panda tosses in the Coalescence, and Minimax finds 3 with the Shatter. 2 fall from it. 360 now caught out. I'm not sure if he'll be able to survive this altercation. Spongy Tease does get a little bit overly aggressive, however, and will be taken out by Blue Jay, but I mean, the rest of OTW are forced back into spawn, so
yeah,
hard to say.
The hack on me was crucial there from Titanic. They could not get anything done there.
OTW finally make it to touch the point for the first time with this round, but Me is now hacked up and forced down. He is getting close to his Shatter, but I'm not sure if he's going to have the time to use it as he is hacked up once again. He's not allowed to play the game. Titanic is relentless.
Eaten!
Zorthkhan eats Blue Jay's Graviton Surge. A ton of ultimates come out. Mello is prepared with the beat for the EMP, however, but Igglebop loses his Death Blossom. EMP comes in for 360, but it's not going to matter as the kills come left and right for Wisdom Academy. Me will find Red Panda.
If me can figure, nope, never mind. Titanic is down. I mean, this is just a super scrappy fight right now. It's a 2v2. Minimax is now coming back. It's going to be him and his Sombra versus the Reaper Lucio. And honestly, I think it's good. It'd be good for Wisdom to just kind of hang around, because if they, Mello goes down, and they're pretty much guaranteed now to get up to 99%, if not just taking this map and the series right here.
Yeah, OTW haven't quite been as decisive as they have been previously in the series. Igglebop now hacked out. Titanic and Spongy Cheese
They're going to have the EMP Blossom.
They don't even need the Blossom as Minimax finds, what was that, 5 with the Shatter? And that's the cleanup. I don't think OTW has a chance anymore. They can't even touch. No one's close. Team kill. The overtime tick boils down, and it was a scrappy series, but Wisdom takes it in a 5-map affair.
There was a bit of uncertainty on Lijiang, a bit of uncertainty on Anubis, but that Nepal map, 200% to 0%, that was Wisdom saying, no, we deserve to be in the grand finals. And with what a beautiful set EMP Shatter play from Minimax. Wisdom is still very much the team to beat in Novice.
Definitely.
Right. I would say great game there, but because we are currently 15 minutes out, we should get the interview done pretty quick and then start preparing for expert. So who do you want to interview today, Akri?
I usually just ask the team.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Let's just have Wisdom pick.
They're not responding.
Who on Wiz? Oh,
Minimax.
okay. Mini. We're gonna get the main tank Minimax coming in. All right. Minimax, hello.
You might be server muted. Oh, there he is.
Hey there. First of all, of course, congratulations. It was a hard-fought series, but you have taken the win and taken your spot in the grand finals. How are you feeling right now?
Pretty good. We're feeling hype. Ready to go into grand finals against whoever we go up against. Looks like that map is still going.
Yeah, I don't think that one's quite finished up yet. Going into this this semifinal matchup against One Trick Wonders, can you take me through Wisdom's mindset and what in particular they were preparing for?
So we knew OTW was going to be a tough team. We were expecting to see a lot more double shield from them because that's what they've been playing for a few weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's mostly, I guess, what we prepped for, but we were, scrimming whoever we could. But we were surprised to see they came out with a pretty strong brawl. But lucky for us, we're completely comfortable with brawl, so we'll have to.
Yeah, they kind of decided to try and play to mirror the brawl into you guys, and you seem to have the upper hand there.
200-0.
Yeah, for sure. If you had to pick out one person from One Trick Wonders who you were like specifically worried about and prepared for, who would that be?
Honestly, going into it, nobody. We were just, not to say that to harp on them, but we weren't really focused on any specific players, just the team in general. Definitely throughout the map, there was one point on Anubis. I was playing Winston and Tree was on Widow and he had a couple really good headshots on me. I'm like, oh geez, this Widow's got some shots. So that was impressive, and I was a little bit worried about him, but obviously we just ran over their front line, and that worked out.
Akron, do you have any questions?
I do have just one question, sort of to compare the very beginning of the series to the very end of it. Like, obviously, you guys came into Lijiang. OTW came out swinging ridiculously hard, I think harder than anyone was expecting. And Wisdom looked like uncharacteristically unprepared. Whereas, coming into Nepal, the last map, you guys just came out completely dominant. Like, what would you say was the big difference in your guys' comms and play from Lijiang to Nepal?
We just take a little bit to warm up, and sometimes we have those first maps where we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. All right, well, Geometric and Edinburgh Monarchs are currently in a map 5 to decide who goes up against you guys in the grand final.
That's great.
They're currently paused again, so that's cool. But of those two teams, before I let you go, this is the last question. Of those two teams, which one would you rather go up against, and why?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. So 100% EM, we can stomp them. We were going to pick them for this round of semifinals, but Geo asked us to pick OTW because they had some scheduling issues or something. I don't know. They asked us to pick OTW, and we said, why not? But we are not worried at all about EM. We've been scrimming them and completely stomping them. I think we had a scrim this week where we full capped them 3 maps in a row and full held them 3 maps in a row. So,
all
right. Well, congrats once again on your victory today. I wish you the best of luck in the grand finals next week, and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you then.
All right, well, that is all we've got for you for the next couple minutes as we get ready and stop the stream to restart it for the Newt versus Chengdu game for the expert semifinals. That should be a slobber knocker, if anything. So tune into that in 20 minutes, 15-ish minutes probably, as we get everything prepared.
Expert semifinals are coming your way in just a few minutes. Go over to the second channel, League Zero OW2. As right now, Geometric and Edinburgh are facing off in a map 5 to decide who is going to join Wisdom in next week's grand finals. So until Expert in a couple of minutes, hope you stick around for that. We'll see you guys later.